Hello and welcome to the Portrait Podcast. At a convening on October 25th and 26th, 2022, the Nevada Department of Education teamed with Ed Extraordinary to launch the Portrait of a Nevada Learner. While community members from across the state attended presentations and workshops, they were also invited to sit down and be interviewed by young people from the community to share their perspective. Each week, we will drop one of these short conversations to inspire your thinking as we build a community-wide vision for who we want our young people to be. Enjoy.
How are you guys doing today? We're back with another interview. It is your host, Demarie, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Adamari Navarez. Nice to meet you guys, and we have a guest speaker.
Ira Sokol.
Let's get right into it. So let the people know about yourself. What do you do? How's your day today?
My day's pretty good. You know, being in Las Vegas is always sort of a strange thing for those of us who are not from here. So,
Yeah.
Especially being in a different time zone. So I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning wandering
Okay.
through the street, you know,
Yeah.
doing things. But I work trying to make schools a lot more relevant to the kids who usually do badly in school.
Right.
Me.
I'm based in Virginia now, but I grew up in New York. I lived in Michigan, so I've been all over the place, and I was that kid, so that's what brought me into this.
Okay. So one of the questions is, what are some durable skills you've had to develop in order to succeed in learning, but also just in life in general? And also, how did you develop those skills?
You know, I used to think learning was really hard until I realized we all do it all the time.
Right.
It's just that in school they want to make it this formal thing that happens in this certain order, with this certain range of things. So when I thought about it, you know, and it probably didn't click with me until I was 15 or 16 years old, but I learned to survive sort of on a daily basis, and that's a lot of skills to get by, and in some ways that's a lot more important than learning where to put commas in a sentence, you know, or the multiplication table. So, you know, what you got to learn first is how you live your life, and once you learn that, you can sort of start to decide how you're going to learn the rest of the stuff you need. But I got to say, the other thing I learned is if I'm not interested in it,
You're not doing it?
I'm not doing it.
It's just plain and simple as that. And I think a lot of the times just in schooling, like it's more of, oh no, you got to do this. And I think my main thing, and I always preach this to them, and I know they're tired of hearing it, is like they keep knocking the requirements down to graduate instead of building the students up to meet those requirements. It's like, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You know, you can't keep teaching or keep having the same requirements, and then, you know, when you're coming up short, all right, let's just dumb it down a little bit. Let's just do something different. You know, you got to keep somebody engaged, because me, I know I 100% wasn't engaged in school, you know. And that's just, that's me personally. It wasn't every class. You know, you had certain teachers who would connect with you, but there's some teachers who didn't care how you felt. They just came here to do a job.
One of the things that I learned, and I really saw this a lot visiting schools in Ireland, because they don't divide kids up from 4 years old through 12. They're all taught together in the same room. And they teach basically to the 6th grade level for everybody.
Right.
Everybody chases that and catches it. You don't dumb it down. You make it more interesting. You don't say to a kid, read this book because it only has little words in it. You say, listen to this book that has really complex language in it and does it. You don't tell a kid they can't do this kind of math until they do this. We took a middle school that was really having trouble with the state math standards, and to prep for the test, we said to the kids, how do you want to change the school? They said, we want to change the cafeteria. I said, okay, that's cool. What do you want to do? Well, they decided they wanted to build 20-foot-high rolling tree houses that would be in the cafeteria and do it. And they built these things across a couple of weeks, and then they passed the test because math made some sense to them.
Right.
Build something. If you make something totally disconnected from people's lives, I guarantee you nobody's really learning it.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
talking about youth, what is
we gotta,
a mindset or skill that you believe young people need to have access to develop or succeed in life like that?
the first thing they need is to know that they're okay. And that's the most important thing adults can do for kids, is to tell them they're okay and make them safe, and safe so the kids can take risks. Because nobody grows up unless you take risks. But it's very hard to take good risks if every day of your life is a risk.
Right.
Right.
So the number one thing to do is that adults can do for kids to help them get those durable skills is to put them in a situation that's as safe as they can make for them, and that's
Definitely.
psychologically, that's
Definitely.
physically, that's
Earning their trust. And
earning their
Exactly.
trust and making them okay. And then what kids get to do, people think you have to teach a human to learn. Think of learning from a kid when they're born until they're 5 years old. That's the most learning, it's like most of the learning of your life happens
Right.
without anybody teaching you a thing.
Adapting.
Right. Adapting.
Right.
Definitely.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So figure out what the world is around you, know how to observe it, know what you can bring to it. That's the skill. What can I bring to this situation? Just like we were talking about before, what can I bring here? Everybody doesn't bring everything, but you can bring something, you can bring something, I can bring something, and we put
Putting
it
them together. Right. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was so amazing to have you on the podcast. We're gonna also try to follow up with everybody after everybody gets done talking. Is there anything you'd like to say to the peers and the viewers? Any advice before we sign off?
I'd just like to say take care of each other. That's what it's all about. You know, in the end, that's who's taking care of us, is
Definitely.
ourselves.
Thank you so much.
So much.
It
We
was nice
appreciate
meeting you.
it.
Thank you so much. And we're signing out.
The Portrait Podcast was recorded and created by the young people from Choice Business Group. If you would like to join the conversation, please visit portrait.nvfutureoflearning.org. Again, that's portrait.nvfutureoflearning.org.